We're going to talk a little bit this morning about the mission trip that we went on to Maryland. Just kind of give you some background on what we did. Anybody know our new mission statement? Who knows our new mission statement?
Right? Loving God, loving others, serving people.
Ah, that's it. Coming from a true believer from the mission. Well, we live that mission statement. Can you give me the next slide, please? We live that mission statement. We practice loving God. We did a devotional every day, and we really felt God's presence the whole time we were there. We practiced loving each other. Our little small group grew closer together. I got to know this little group better than I ever had in the past. And we also had the opportunity of meeting a lot of great people from both Virginia and Maryland. So that was a blessing. And certainly we served people, and nothing brought that home better to us than the love that we were shown from the people whose homes that we destroyed. I mean, that's kind of what we did. We went in and destroyed a bunch of homes. The good news is those homes are being rebuilt. Next slide, please. Pardon?
How many of you went?
6 from our church, 1 more from Yucca Valley, and we met up with a team from Virginia of 27, so there were 30 some odd of us there. There's the storm track. I don't know if you can see that very well up on the screen, but that's the storm that came in. It hit Crisfield on the 30th of October. If you give me the next slide, please. Let's turn up real small on the screen. But Crisfield is...
Here, I'll go up. You keep talking.
Crisfield is right there. I need a pointer. Crisfield is right there. It's on that little point between the Chesapeake and the Atlantic. And Crisfield is a little seaport town right at the tip of Maryland. Really a dying town, I guess you could say. The homes are pretty much old and yeah, there's Crisfield right there. Thank you, Peggy. Next slide, please. Crisfield its place in the world is a fishing village, and that fishing village focused on 2 fishing crops. One of them is, I don't know why I say red crab there, but blue crabs is what they're known for, and they're also known for oysters. And those, because of the changing, the overfishing and all that, those industries are dying out. Next slide, please. This is sort of what it looked like as the storm was coming in. The hurricane actually focused on New Jersey. If you looked at that storm track, it missed, the main track of the storm missed Maryland, but it got the side benefit of it, I guess.
Storm surge.
Storm surge, that's the word I'm looking for. So there it is coming. You can see the Crisfield is 3 feet below sea level, so when the sea rises, and of course this happened at high tide. It was full moon when the storm hit, and there you see the flood coming. Next slide, please. That was a little park very close to where the church was that we stayed. We drove by that park every day in and out, and you can see it was underwater. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Is it broken? Next slide, please. There it is. This gives you an idea of the devastation that hit. And the homes, most of the homes had 3 feet of water in the homes. That's kind of what happened. You look at the homes as we got there, and you couldn't see any damage at all. The homes looked perfect until you went inside. Well, once you got inside, you could really see the water line was on the walls. Next slide, please. There's our little team. Whoops, there was 26th of December, and I think we left at 8:30. Was that about right? 8:30 we left from the airport, and we flew all night. Arrived in Baltimore, Maryland. Next slide, please. We arrived. This is going in the car, looking out the front windshield of the car, going over the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
It's the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. So we're going over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in that slide. Here we're arriving on our first day, the 27th. We went to a house, and those are the two buses that transported the Virginia team in. And there's the first house, and there's our most technically capable Ken getting ready to go to work. Yes, electrician. He was the guy that could go in and solve all the problems. Bless his heart. And he was getting ready to go. Here you can see a couple of slides of us on the inside working. There's Mark tearing up a wall, and I think that is Krista from the Yucca Valley Church who went with us. Next slide, please. That is our favored mode of transportation. We use those wheelbarrows. We even lost one of those wheelbarrows for a day or so, but that's how we carried everything out. Our calling card, we left that at every house that we went to, the stuff that we took out. Walls, floors, cabinets, plumbing, toilets, sinks.
More floors.
Boy, I tell you, we really did it. There's our little team, and that was at our last house. That was the last day that we were there. The large black gentleman in the picture is Lawrence. You'll hear a little bit more about him later. And the guy kneeling down there is Rich. That was the guy that was in charge of the disaster recovery. So there we are with that little pile behind us. Now we've got Mary Lou's here? No, she's not. Mary Lou's was going to talk to you about the people. We were blessed in getting to meet all the families whose houses we destroyed. And there is one of the ladies. That was the first house that we worked on. That lady was a retired pastor in the United Methodist Church. Retired pastors seem to have some pull in getting other houses worked on. But she was there at different times. During the time we were there, we were able to meet other members of her family. Here's another slide of Ruth. Ruth is another retired pastor, and you see a picture of me there on your left, I guess, showing me with the son. His name was King, and he worked with us the whole time we were there, bless his heart. This is another one of the houses. I think that was their house. That's their house that we worked on. And in front, you see the trailer that we brought our tools with. That trailer was given to us by the Virginia Conference to use. Wonderful gift. There you see Darcy. Go, Darcy. She's there destroying a wall. And the next slide will show you Mary Lou's destroying a wall. I can't tell you the feeling that we had. We felt like we were really violating their world. We'd go into their house, we'd move all of their stuff out of the room that we were going to work on. We would rip out the walls, we'd rip out the floors. We felt that we were just turning their life upside down. And you can't imagine how good it made us feel for those people to thank us in the way that they did. Ruth, and that little gathering that you saw there, Ruth gave us a 10-minute prayer. And that prayer focused on the fact that she'd been a pastor for all those years, and she'd been serving people, and this is the first time in her life she'd ever been served that way. And she was especially impressed by the women and the children that were there helping. We had 6 or 8 teenagers from Virginia that worked their little hearts out. And I got to tell you, these women that went, what a blessing they were, how hard they worked. And this lady, Ruth, recognized that. That was beautiful. That was, that actually that you worked on, but it's the only picture I had. Somehow I wasn't finding you when I was taking pictures. But she worked, Edna worked on a door with a team of people from Virginia for all day.
Several doors.
Rehanging that door. I was particularly thinking about the front door. Rehanging the front door. It took all day, but they pulled the door entirely out. It was poorly hung, and they reconstructed that door. That's Darcy. She pulls a strong nail there. I tell you, that lady worked hard. And next picture. This is Darcy's favorite room of all the time we were in Maryland. She loved that room. There's one picture of Darcy and one picture of Mary Luce there pulling up the floor in that room. And I got to tell you, that was hard work.
Yeah, chiseling, not pulling. Is that tile?
Yeah, it was linoleum. There were three layers of linoleum. And we had to... Yeah, I tell you. We called that house the paper house. It was a manufactured home that was built back in the 50s, sometime before they... 60s? As before they had building laws, I guess, because it was built with 1x2 studs. And when they pulled off the interior wall, the studs came with it. I mean, there was nothing holding the house up. I got to tell you, that house is in the process of being rebuilt.
And also, these guys tarped the roof.
Yeah, we did. We tarped the roof. There's Ken putting tar on a roof. We did all the work inside, and the ceiling. You'll see a picture of the ceiling a little later on. There it is. That ceiling was destroyed, and the reason it was destroyed is because there was a leak, and we fixed that leak. And you saw Ken spreading the tar. There we are pulling out floor. Man, we did a lot of floor work. We pulled up the hardwood floor, and there was a subfloor underneath it. The subfloor, in some of those cases, had to come up too. There was just nothing but the joist. And there we are pulling up those women. That was their room, and I got to tell you, they worked their hearts out pulling up that floor. Once we got the floor up, that's what we found underneath. The joists were gone. They were destroyed. So we were, and you'll see here in a minute, another team has been in after us, and they have fixed that. So here's the team in front of that last house. And
you can picture how cold it was.
Yeah, it was, lows of like 26, highs like 38, something like that. But we were blessed it didn't rain. We only had one snow day, and we took advantage of that snow day. We weren't there. So there's our friend Lawrence, and you're going to find out about Lawrence. Would you talk about him?
Hi, this is actually Reverend Lawrence Purnell. He was a hoot, for one thing. It was a lot of fun, and he put a lot of joy in our work with us. He actually is a minister up north. Darcy, where is he from? Salisbury. Oh, he actually has 3 churches that he's a pastor to in Salisbury, Maryland, which is maybe 20 or 30 minutes north of where we were. And first of all, he's the one who got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drove all the way to Baltimore Airport to picked us up in a van, and instantly we became friends with him. He took us and, talked, and he was our tour guide all the way from Baltimore back to Crisfield, where we were going to work. And he came with us, and that first day, which was a Thursday, I believe, our first day, so we were up all night, or, we hopefully slept a little bit on the plane, but we flew in by 6. Lawrence got us to Crisfield, to the Asbury Methodist Church, which I think Darcy's going to talk about a little bit later. And we got there just in time, probably about 11, maybe 11:30 in the morning, and the Virginia team, who was already there, were just going to be coming back from their morning's work. They were going to be there from when we were there until, I think, the 31st. So we were going to be there until the 3rd. We got there the 27th. We were going to be there till the 3rd. And the Virginia team, which was the larger team, was already there. And they already had people there who told us where we could put our stuff, where we could put our sleeping bags. They gave us cots. So we all got to know each other because we all slept in the same room, at least the first night. It was interesting. They had a big basement. We don't, kind of think about that in California, but in other places. This particular church has a large basement, and they were sealed. I know. I'll get out of it just a minute. It was a sealed basement, so it fortunately didn't get flooded. So we were fortunate to stay there. And then Lauren stayed with us. The Virginia team came back, and we had lunch with them. They had 2 cooks who were there cooking for their team and helped provide food for us. And then Lawrence went off to work with us for that first day. So we got to know Lawrence quite well. Then he went away for most of the time. I think we didn't see him again until the last day he came out on the 3rd. No, was it the 2nd? The 2nd. Worked with us again all day at the house, and then proceeded to the next day to take us all back to Baltimore. And he was our guide for the day because we really had the day. So he kind of took us into Baltimore and then showed us all around. A great guy, a really nice minister, has a wonderful attitude about missionary work, and was really thankful and gracious about having our team there.
Good. Come on. Next slide, please.
Well, this is where we stayed at Asbury United Methodist Church. It is a gorgeous church. I mean, it rivals some of the churches that we've seen in Europe. It was the people. Can I talk about the people? Okay. The people at Asbury were, and their sister church, well, if you blink, you'll miss a Methodist church. There is a Methodist church on every corner in, what's that? 14. Seriously.
14, just in Crisfield.
Yeah, just in Crisfield, there are 14 Methodist churches. So the idea that we only had one in Murrieta was just almost unheard of. So you can understand why Lawrence had 3 churches just in Salzburg, and they were all Methodist churches. Anyway, the church itself was gorgeous. I mean, and it was really well taken care of. There's the sanctuary there on your left and on your right, looking from different angles. Stained glass windows beyond compare. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful stained glass windows. And the woodwork, and it was just fun. Because we were living there, it was fun to go out and explore the church and all the nooks and crannies and things like that. But the people from the church and their sister church came in, and they fed us 3 times a day. It was phenomenal and so sweet. And every once in a while, we could coax them out of the kitchen and come and sit with us and tell us about their lives there in Crisfield and what they went through, and how the Sandy had affected their life. And it was very, very interesting. And it was just interesting hearing about really a different culture. I mean, how the people live in Maryland is very different than how we live in California. I mean, not extraordinary, but enough that it was interesting hearing from them and having them tell their stories. One thing that we did notice is that there was people are born and raised in Crisfield, and they stay there for a really long, long time, forever. And there's lots and lots of different, your mother goes there, your grandmother went there, and your great-grandmother went there. It's the same with the other churches too. So that was quite interesting. Anyway, again, this church was gorgeous. The people were wonderful, fabulous, terrific. Couldn't have been any kinder. And I think we do have one slide that I am going to talk about. There we go. And those are two paintings that the church itself is very, very proud of. It's by a very famous painter, Lemuel. Am I saying that? Lemuel Ward. And he originally is known for most famously, and we actually saw his work at one of the airports, for he and his brother painted duck decoys, and they're just beautiful. But he happened to paint a painting in the 1840s of the church, and then he also did the other painting of David and, Daniel, sorry, some D word. Daniel and the Lion's Den. Anyway, that's hanging in the church, and they are very, very proud of those paintings, and the church itself is beautiful. We even got to, one night, we went upstairs, as Edna said, so we didn't have to sit around and stare at each other and make small talk. We went upstairs and listened to their choir practice, and that was quite fun, and they enjoyed having an audience. Anyway, a fabulous, wonderful experience, and we're fortunate that we were able to experience it.
And then would you come talk to us for a minute and talk about your Bibles?
They have more than a minute.
Okay, first of all, I want to say these crosses were given to us by the Virginia people. They're flooring from other people's projects. And the idea was we're supposed to give them away to someone else to say there is hope. But you'll notice that we haven't given them away yet. Okay. Obviously we were working in houses that were flooded, and unfortunately these are Bible-thumping people whose Bibles frequently got damaged. And I picked up two because I repair Bibles. One of them was just an absolute work of art, family Bible, thick, lots of family history, but it ended up in the mail before I was requested to bring it. So this is Bible number 2. This was in another house, and it was on another Bible, and the second Bible, when I looked at it, was just a thud of mold, which is what we dealt with. We dealt with mold a lot. So this is a Bible that was pretty much beyond repair, and it's come together pretty well, but you can tell it's still got a little bit of warping there. But as in so many Bibles, there were pieces of paper in the Bibles that were precious, and so I cut them out and adhered them to the new Bible. Thank you very much.
Okay, two things. One, you've seen the emergency, our facilities. The shower trailer was the favorite place because it was really nice to have a nice hot shower if you knew which shower stall to go into.
And it had a heater that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, that way too much heater. And Frank's still in the back. Frank, you recognize that style of church?
No.
You don't? It's very similar to the one in Grinnell. Yeah, I was amazed. It was built in 1924 after it burnt down and a couple other renovations. You could hit the slide. We're just different things that can happen on adventures like this. I was looking on Facebook and saw that Pat Matthews, who used to be a member of the church here, had a knee replacement, and she'd been back in Michigan, but she works for the State Department there in Washington, D.C. She had Facebooked and said, hey, I'm back in Washington, just letting everybody know. So I gave her a call and said, hey, we're in Maryland, and she just thought that was the greatest thing. So she drove over to have dinner with us one evening.
3 hours each way.
Yeah, it's nothing is fast in Maryland. They have freeway, or they have roads, and it's like 40 miles or 35 miles from Crisfield up towards, Salisbury, thank you. It takes an hour, and it takes me an hour, and so it's very sad. The roads there are very They're slow. Lots of stoplights. Kind of reminds you of old 395. That's their major roads. And like Edna was saying, these crosses were made. What they did is they would take a piece of the flooring and then they would run a square nail through it like this. Excuse me. One of the things we did is picked up a whole big bag of square nails so that we can kind of do our own thing with that. These are new nails. We have original nails, and we can kind of work out something like that. One last quick thing. If you noticed, we're tearing up all these buildings. If we haven't made it perfectly clear what the problem was, is there was mold growing in all these walls. The sliding doors, those pocket doors, were flooded this high. These homes are 3 feet off the ground, and there was 2 feet of water in them. So the 5-foot surge came through and stayed there for a few hours or days before it finally left. These homes, the insulation was wet. The reason we were tearing these floors out and all of this is to get, so they could then put chlorine and stuff like this on the mold so that people won't get lung disease. All yours.
Now, the next couple of slides are ones that the team is going to be particularly interested in. Can I have the next slide? We were blessed to be there and repair destroy the homes. The cool thing is that there was a team that came along behind us that is, can I have the next slide, please? Please. Can I have the next slide, please? Frank? Slide? Next one after that. Okay. There's the cross that we have. One more slide, please. Okay. This is not our team. This is the team that came along behind us. It's the Mennonites. And the Mennonites came in behind us, and they're there right now, rebuilding the houses that we destroyed. You guys will recognize that as the last house that we worked on. Can I have the next slide, please? And there's, how about that, huh? How about that? The houses we destroyed are being rebuilt right now. That is, there is hope for those people. And these crosses, that's what it designates. This happens to be wood from the old house and a new nail, which is representing hope for the people that are having their houses destroyed. Okay? So that's what we did. We are grateful for the opportunity of having gone back. It was a life-changing experience for us. We enjoyed it. It was hard work. I'm really proud of the team. Somehow I got appointed as leader, but all these guys worked their hearts out, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. Thanks for being here and listening, and God bless you.